the businesses, and we in Norway we do this three-party system when we are negotiating wages. So Virke is one part, the union, workers' union, the other part, and the government, the third part. So we are doing a very, very important job there, negotiating wages. And of course, we are working with the politicians all the time to get better framework. Yesterday, it was a budget, the next year's budget from the Norwegian government, and of course, we were not happy that they hadn't thought about tax on textiles into Norway. So that is one thing we are working with, and I have been working for 12 years with, and we'll work some more years with still, I think.
Then I think that you are the right person to be with us today. You are the one that we can ask a lot of questions about this, since you have.
Yes, of course. So Virke is a large organization, it's a main organization. It is also serving trade and services. It's hospitals, schools, education. So we have a large number of members. The trade is the largest part of Virke. It is 60%, and it also covers producers, wholesalers, as well as the retailers.
So how is it going today with your branch, with your unit, especially in this Corona times? How did it have any impact on the trade? I assume it had huge impact. How the consumer behavior changed, the producer routines? Are there any trends that you can tell us about?
Yes, of course. Just to take one step back and see, all retail in Norway started in 2020 with a moderate growth. But the fashion industry did start very poorly. So shoes, bags, and clothes started poorly. But we were optimistic until March the 12th, and then everybody lost all the business. So it's like every country in Europe or all the world, something really bad happened the 12th of March. And of course, with the fashion industry, we had started poorly this year. It was very, very bad. So many actually just closed down the stores. They didn't see any light in the tunnel, so they just closed down, and it hit the industry really hard. So after March had gone, and April started poorly as well, and we had the Easter. Then suddenly Norwegian people had a lot of money in their pockets because they hadn't been traveling. They hadn't been on holiday. They were forced to be home in the Easter because they couldn't even go to their cottage. Then they really went out and spent money again. So especially home and interior and construction was really the winner in this game. So people used a lot of money on furniture, building new cottages and interior to those. And of course, something also hit the fashion industry. So we had some months with very nice turnover, and everything came back. So it was like coming back to the normal again. So and then in August, unfortunately, maybe because it was too little clothes on the market, maybe had delayed their delivery of the autumn collection. So they had mainly things on sale that was already people had bought through the summer. So we were back to more bad August again, but now it's more positivism out there. So they think they will grow through the autumn. And of course, with new collections, a little bit higher prices, people are choosing less clothes for a little higher price. So they're going for quality to last. So we can see that the baskets, we have fewer visitors on the shopping centers, but the baskets are bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you go fewer times, but you buy more, and you buy more expensive things.
Mm-hmm. Is online shopping increased? I can see
Yes, and,
people are
and
sitting
that,
at home, and I just see it my own experience. I'm sitting at home having more time to check online stores. Is that the trend?
yes, what we saw under the corona was that online sales increased by more than 30%.
Mm.
So now it just wasn't convenience that put people into the online market, but also fear of being infected at the shopping centers. They sat home and they did their shopping. So now we have new generations have learned how to do online shopping and will continue to do.
Mm.
So when we look at the fashion industry from January to August 2020, we have lost 2.1 billions in turnover since last year.
Mm.
But many things has been transferred over to online sales. And the big foreign, like Zalando, Boost, Sport Amore, they are selling for billions into Norwegian consumers.
Mm. Mm.
So the online business have really boosted under the corona.
Mm. We have a question from the public. Maybe you know something about that. Is there a demand for fur coats and hats? And then we're talking about natural fur. I know that Norwegians are very eco-friendly and they like the replacement that are a little bit more ecological. What about the fur, the natural fur in the fashion? Is there a demand for it?
In Norway, there is people are skeptical to furs. Mm. Unfortunately, they are taking everything as the same, even if it comes from sustainable farms. They think fur is not the way to do. Mm. So, but of course we have this. You have these Canada Goose jackets with fur on the hood. So Norwegians are buying it, but the fur business in Norway has decreased tremendously the last 20 years, and especially the last 10 years. There are very few fur shops again in Oslo and the rest of the country.
Yeah, so I guess it's unfortunate for the companies, but fortunate for the animals. They're still
fortunate for the animals, but of course it is a trend now with sustainable fashion. And it don't come under sustainable fashion to go with a fur coat. Mm. The opinion, many people speak about the fur coats that is old. That's okay to use, but don't buy new fur coats. Mm-hmm. But if you buy a used one, that's okay for some people. Mm. But some people don't use fur at all.
Mm-hmm. But so we talked about the eco-friendly production. That is a trend among Norwegian producers. Are there any other trends, or maybe new trends because of Corona? I can assume that people are not traveling far now, so they might want to bring the production a little bit closer home, maybe like move. But then it might be a little bit more expensive. But are they willing to pay the price for moving, or are there any other trends when it comes to production and in Norwegian market?
If you are a producer and want to work with Norway, I think you have to have the sustainable at the top of your mind. You have to use sustainable material. You have to be very fair in wages. You have to comply with the FN aims of sustainable fashion and sustainable consumption. And of course, if you work with Norwegian producers or chains that produce their own labels, I think it's very, very important that you sit together and think about the product's lifetime. It has to be a good quality. It has to be live along, and of course, it's disposable. So if you put together special things with many different fabrics, it's difficult to reuse or to use it again in some production. So if you have a pure products with the same fabrics, then it's more sustainable. Also in the circular economy, which is very, very top of mind in Norwegian politicians now. Circular economy. Everything has to go in the loop. So that is important. If you work with those things, you will have a advantage in the competition in Norway.
I'm not sure if you know about this, but maybe you have some ideas. Do you think Ukraine is on the radar of the Norwegian producers? Is this country something that they would consider to move the production, since of the cheap cost and labor, and then it's closer to European Union, and it's also, we have a free trade agreement with Norway. I think that Oleg will tell us maybe more about the trade agreement and conditions, but maybe you have some insights from the Norwegian producers' point of view when it's Ukraine directed production.
Yes, I think so, because we have always worked east of Norway. So we have a tradition to work with your neighbors. So why not? I think. But as I said, you have to compare with the labor laws. You have to compare with the sustainable fashion, and you have to comply with the demands of the Norwegian trains. Then you have a good possibility to work with Norway. That should not be a problem. So, and we are very used to work with the Eastern countries.
And the last question I have, you talked about the budget that was presented yesterday, and today I got the newsletter that Virke is not that happy with that because there is a custom duty on the clothes, textile that are brought from other countries to Norway. It's 10.7%, and when you buy clothes personally from foreign stores, you don't pay anything up to 3,000. And then Virke wants to remove this barrier, because it has to be, the competition has to be equal for everyone, and then in this way it will protect the Norwegian producers. Is there something you're working, why it's important, and then if you reach it, if they remove this custom duty, how will it influence the future of Norwegian textile and Norwegian producers?
Well, we think the competition is unfair because, as you said, the new system for VAT on e-commerce sales, that called the BOEK, it's a possibility there to register, and then you can send clothes to Norwegian consumers from abroad for 23,000 Norwegian crowns without paying tax. So that it is 10% advantage for foreign companies. So the Norwegian retailer has to pay this 10.7% more for the clothes. So that we think is very unfair competition. And the background is that it is tax on textiles into Norway. So we think that you have to remove this trade barrier, and it will create more international trade with Ukraine and others, and it will make more employees in Norway, because we can lower the costs in the industry. So we mean that Norway can decide to cut out, just leave putting a tax on textiles. It would cost Norway 1 billion Norwegian crowns. That's not very much in the big budget that we presented yesterday. So Norway has the conservative government, which is ruling in Norway now, has talked about this the last 15 years, and they removed tax on shoes, other industry parts was all tax removed. So it's only textile and agriculture again. That's right. So we mean that textile is an industry good that you have to remove tax on. So that is what we're working with. So and we hope, of course, but you have a free trade agreement, so you can just put them into Norway without this 10.7.
Yes, and that's actually very good that you mentioned, because we also have Oleg with us, who is working with this, and he's probably one of the biggest specialists I know, and that put a lot of times and effort researching and working with that. He's pushing very hard for agriculture and textile and or like production generally between Norway and Ukraine. I will just let the public know that Bror William has to go very soon. If you have any questions, we'll keep him for a few minutes. So if you have any questions to him, please write it in the comment section. But my last question, can a foreign company join Virke, apply for members, or is it only for Norwegian companies?
It is for Norwegian companies. Of course, if you are in Ukraine business and have a shop in Oslo, the shop in Oslo can be a member.
Right.
But as a Ukraine, yes. So, we have not until now we have not foreign members, but we have associates. Like we are working with all trade unions, trade companies for Germany, Ukraine, India, whatever. Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us again. We'll hold you for a little bit more if people have comments or questions to you. But I would like to talk to you, Oleg, and ask you some questions. Last time we worked on the textile industry was last year. We had a seminar. It was offline. This year, I feel like digitalization is the word of the year. So we talked about the possibility of producing clothes in Ukraine, getting the Ukrainian origin, and then sending back to Norway or selling to the Union. What are the updates? What is the PEM convention? What is the diagonal cumulation? Could you please explain to us with a very simple, because we're not lawyers.
Okay, a lot of complicated, concepts from you, and now you tell me to explain it in the simple words, but which is not the easiest task. I try to do that late, like 1 year or something, or even more. But yeah, we have some updates, basically from September this year. From the Ukrainian government and as well from the EU Commission and the custom office from Norway, that we already have the possibility to accumulate origin between our countries. What does it mean basically? That in the short terms, I will of course tell presentation. You need that? Yeah, I have a presentation. I will share that maybe after for a few minutes. But in the simple words, that means that we have a chance to use we have trade preferences with Norway, how it was said already. If we confirm the Ukrainian origin of the goods, 0 instead of 10.7. As well, we have the same. Meanwhile, on associate, there is a lot of questions in the chat. So we have as well trade preferences with EU. And that basically means that we are quite in a unique position. To be a part of the trade change. And super flash news from 10 minutes ago, the president of Ukraine has signed the free trade agreement with the UK in London, 8 or 10 minutes ago or something like this. I had a message from my colleague in the messenger. So that means that we have another party in the chain that we can accumulate origin. And as well now, just to also make the picture full, we also can accumulate with Georgia and all of these trade partners. That means that we can use the material from one of the partners, do some minor operation with this, for instance, in Ukraine, and sell it to EU still as a Ukrainian using the trade preferences. Or we can use the materials from Georgia or EU, do the minor reprocessing operations in Ukraine and then sell it to Norway still with the Ukrainian origin, even though the majority of the materials is not from Ukraine, and even though you can also avoid the so-called sufficient reprocessing, so the operation could be quite a bit more than packing, assembling. It still could gain the Ukrainian origin towards Norway as the final market. So, and the companies using Ukraine as a reprocessing hub or as one of the raw material source can still get the origin required, for instance, for the further export to another trade partner. And now it works between all the EU countries, all the EFTA countries, including, of course, Norway, Georgia, and soon UK, hopefully. Yeah. And that creates a lot of opportunities. And the other feature of this framework that you can also use the materials from third countries, partly, for instance, from China, and partly in producing the things in Ukraine, and as well from EU. And at the same time, the final product would still have a chance to gain the Ukrainian origin and benefit from the preferential tariff regime between Ukraine and Norway. So a lot of directions how you can use that, but in any case, it's quite positive to quite a positive opportunity to Ukrainian producers, to Norwegian producers and brands to use a cheaper raw material from Ukraine and then to sell to, for instance, the EU market, to use cheaper labor force in Ukraine and then add a bit more in Norway and still send it to EU as a Norwegian product, or you know, as you wish. So all that you need to compare, and the most unique thing in this, that you usually, to gain the origin of any country, you need to comply with the special rules, like not more than, for instance, 30% of the total value should be from the material, right? So it allows to, let's say, overcome this restrictions to trade. So you can do the basic operations, for instance, with shoes, because basically you cannot get the origin from shoes if you assemble the shoes from base parts of the shoes, right? You need to use only raw parts material. So you can overcome this restriction, basically do it from the parts of the shoes from the EU and Norway, and then sell it to EU or Norway as a Ukrainian one, using all the trade preferences still. So I hope it was simple enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you. It was, yeah, you summed up something that we are going to look more into details. I would like to say thank you, Bror William Stende, again. Please let us know if there is anything we can help you, or your members. Please use us. We're here to benefit the Norwegian companies, to help to also develop the trade and cooperation with Ukraine. So thank you for joining us again. Feel free to disconnect when you need to go. And if you have any questions, please send me an email, and so we can communicate online.
Thank you for letting me speak to you, and goodbye and good luck with working with Norway in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much. All right, coming back to you. You had the presentation. You wanted to go more into details and show us a little bit more in practice. I know that your presentations are very simple to understand and very visual.
Not this time.
Not this time. So my last webinar was on the intellectual property rights, and it was I put some.
What could be more complicated? Okay, then maybe it would be quite simple comparing to the intellectual rights property reform in Ukraine. Hopefully. I also like to the previous. Would like to add to the previous question. As far as we will have the free trade agreement with the UK, with the quite similar rules that we have now with the EU. I'm not aware now, but it needs to be checked. Additionally, what kind of rules will exist between UK and Norway in the future? And this may add some additional opportunities on the trade barriers, so we can, the UK producers or the Norwegian producers can use Ukraine as a way to avoid paying higher duties.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'll try to share my screen as the presentation. You tell me if I was successful enough in doing that. Do you see something? Just a second.
Not yet. I will let you know.
Just a second. Give me a second. I have too many presentations.
Norway and Ukraine is different. Second here has already passed.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Wait a bit. Maybe. So just,
while you're turning on the presentation, I see there is a comment in the chat section, and then it's about production in Ukraine reduces the cost of the goods, and if together with the logistics, it can be cheaper and then beneficial for the Norwegian producers, as I understand.
And that's true.
And that's exactly what we're going to look into. And that's also something that maybe we can discuss with Irina later today in the end of the session. All right. Yes, Olaf. We got a question for you. I will look at that while you're showing the presentation. Then we can discuss. Come back to the question to you. Also, there is another question: how the Norwegian-based company can get support if they work with Ukraine. I will also come back to that a little bit later.
Yeah, okay. I see the question from Lars. I will try to answer that, and or if we are lack of time, we can discuss it a bit later. So, why should the Norwegian companies look into production opportunities in Ukraine? In a simple words, basically, you can Google that. That's not the full list, but that's just what I could find and what I could find in like 5 minutes or something, or even less. What brands are officially manufactured or partly manufactured in Ukraine. That's not the marketing of anything, you know, nothing personal with this kind of brands. It's just a few examples that are like known. These brands are produced in Ukraine, and there is a reason for that, and even more reasons lately to go into the Ukrainian market. So why it's interesting to manufacture textile or clothing in Ukraine. Basically, we have a free trade agreement with EFTA states, including Norway, which is beautiful. And then we can basically we avoid almost all the duties except for the agriculture and a few more things, including almost every possible textile good, while exporting to Norway. And backwards, the same thing. Almost everything has 3% duty while importing to Ukraine from Norway. We also have a free trade agreement with EU, basically almost free access to the European market within the textile, and vice versa to Ukraine. We have the so-called reprocessing system in Ukraine. I'll tell more details, which is super beneficial, especially for reprocessing, like when the final goods are not designated for the Ukrainian market. So when you sell them to EU, back to Norway, whatever you like. And we have the possibility of accumulation. I had the chance to you know, give a short overview about this. So just a few examples, you know, to compare. General duty to Ukraine for the cotton would be 10%. The same. Yeah, it just illustrates my previous points that that's zero everywhere. You import this to Ukraine, basically you pay 20%. If that's or Ukrainian or Norwegian origin, that would be zero. You know, basically import this to Ukraine, but that's if that has the EU or EFTA origin, it's still like almost for free. The same for textile fabrics, you know, special things. The same with, for instance, almost everything, including food, we are from Ukraine to Norway, or to, you know, ready clothing to Norway. General rate is how it was told by my colleague, previous speaker, is 10.70 from Ukraine. The same, like not depending on what kind of the ready product is, that you still import that to Norway from Ukraine with zero. The only important thing that you confirm the origin of the goods, that shall be Ukrainian. Yeah, the same and the same. Now the important thing at the same time, that the same ready clothing, if the end market is EU, would be still zero for everything, and there is no trade quotes or barriers, so you can do unlimited import to EU with the Ukrainian origin goods. That's almost the same that we have told with the first slide, but with the bright example. Why then the origin? So all that is nice, but then it's really important to have the origin of the Ukraine or of Ukraine or Norway.
It says made in Ukraine on the package.
Not necessarily. That's a different thing. You have a preferential origin, the origin in the means of manufacturing and trade that gives you a right to use this 0% duty to any direction. And you have non-preferential origin saying it is made in Norway, though it could be partly made in Ukraine and benefit from the Ukrainian trade duties, but it could be from the Norwegian material or the Norwegian, you know, something which is really important for the marketing or for the statistics or something else. So basically, you could do a lot in Ukraine, but at the same time, not all of the goods could get the Ukrainian trade origin to use this duty. So that's important to follow the specific rule that you get a special certificate that that's from Ukraine, and it means some foreign trade. Yeah. What origin means to you, that's like a name of the song or something, to me, or a part of the song or something. But so when you get the origin, of course, the standard rule is you fully get the materials and processing and manufacturing in one country, but in nowadays world is almost impossible. You have a different trade chains. You get the materials from China, manufacturing from elsewhere, and then final markets elsewhere. So there is a special sufficient processing rules to the materials of foreign origin. When you reprocess something, for instance, in Ukraine, we have the same rules between Norway and Ukraine, the same rules between EU and Ukraine, the same rules between EU and Norway. So basically, you need to follow the special rules. So when you use the materials from other country, the final product still gains the origin. And they are often quite complex. For instance, oriented to the really high profile, high added value manufacturing, or that might be like not more than 30% cost of the material in the end product. That means that if you use the expensive materials, then you hardly comply with that, and you use the possibility to enjoy the cheaper labor, cheaper manufacturing costs, etc., but you don't get the preferential treatment from Norway or EU. So and there is a special rule for any type of the clothing or footwear or textile in an international trade agreement. As I said, not mainly that's linked to the value or special non-using or using special types of products, but not always you can comply with that. Not always, because of different manufacturing reasons. So and the accumulation gives the chance to to still use the possibility to get the Ukrainian origin, and at the same time avoid complying with this special complicated rule, or use the materials from the other third parties, so basically you can use the Norwegian, EU, and the Chinese materials, and thanks to the accumulation, at some point it could still get the Ukrainian origin while export to Norway, which gives a lot of space to maneuver for the Norwegian brands, while not just simply buying some specific operations to Ukrainian factories from Ukrainian factories, but as well rearranging the trade change and supply chain. So through Nuke, we already had the project, and we are now discussing with one of our clients the chance to process like baby clothes or something, baby accessories, using the Chinese material, using the Ukrainian material, and using something from Norway. And then by the end of the day, there is still a chance to have the not only made in Ukraine, but also Ukrainian origin product that will still benefit if the end market is EU, if the end market is Norway. And so that's a great chance for the manufacturers, basically from Norway mainly, and to Ukrainian also companies that will have a chance to cooperate with the Norwegian brand. Yeah, basically the simple meaning of the processing of the accumulation is what is yours is mine, and vice versa. So we can use the foreign materials from EU and Norway as it would be a Ukrainian material, with not necessarily complying with all this special sophisticated pre-processing rules. And the third thing why it is so good to manufacture clothing in Ukraine would be the reprocessing regime. It's in Ukrainian customs legislation allowing the reprocessor, if the product is not designated for the Ukrainian market, to avoid paying custom duties to Ukraine, even though it could be from elsewhere, China, elsewhere, and avoid paying VAT while import. So you basically outsource the manufacturing to Ukraine, but customs-wise or international trade-wise, nothing changes. It's still processing in your Norwegian factory just moved for a month or half a year to Ukraine. That's why basically you do not sell it to Ukrainian company. Ukrainian company really saves on a lot of like on VAT and customs duties, even though the material is not the preferential. The Ukrainian company needs only the special permit. It's not super sophisticated, so it could be done with the proper preparation. And based on that, adding to the chance to get the lower cost of manufacturing than you have in Norway and in EU, and for sure in Norway, adding to the chance to mix up the materials of different origin and still use the good grades due to accumulation, you still can get a better price from the Ukrainian company because they do not pay VAT, they do not pay the custom duties for some third countries things, and you minimize your risk because you do not sell and you're not waiting for it to be repaid for that. That's basically your materials moved to somewhere, and then you're still an owner of the materials in the final closing, and then just sent to you. So quite beneficial in the means of minimization of risk. That's the third good reason to reprocess in Ukraine. And of course, that's not the international trade reason, but we have a quite good infrastructure of light industry textile in Ukraine. We have a lot of old factories renewed, bought by the new owners, and a lot of producers. That's also one of the reasons. That's also one of the reasons why we have a lot of brands involved into the production in Ukraine. That's a simply explained reprocessing. So you basically, that could be not only Norwegian entity, that could be EU or elsewhere. You send something to Ukraine, get the finished product also without export duties and no import duties. You utilize the leftovers or get it back to Norway, and then just pay for services to the Ukrainian companies. That's still about the accumulation. What is important to use the possibilities? What is important is that you pay close attention to the classification of goods, because in textile, almost the same material could be technically of a different code. So to avoid having any troubles with Ukrainian customs and Norwegian or EU customs, you pay close attention to the classification and the customs value, which is like that's why often it's interesting to use the reprocessing regime, because basically, to be honest, Ukrainian customs are quite strict with the customs value to get any kind of payment they could get to the customs value budget if you make some technical mistakes in the document, and that's why the third point would be documents. There are some non-monetary issues like we are not talking about the feather skins of birds or something like this, because as it was asked already, Norway is not too much into natural, animal origin products. Could have some basic phytosanitary certificates for basic cotton, but not more. Please do check the opportunities. You can do a lot of good stuff using Ukraine as a reprocessing hub for the Norwegian brands. Either if your final market is Norway or EU, or even UK soon, or Georgia, if you send something to Georgia, potentially, why not? Thanks.
Oleg, thank you very much. You've got a lot of comments or some questions in the chat box, so you can probably take your time and read and think a bit, formulate your thoughts. But you can do it after we talk to Irina, so you will have some time. I also think that this presentation can be shared with the registered participants, right, Oleg?
Sorry.
I
have read the question.
Yeah, the presentation can be shared with the registered.
Sure, no problem.
So you can come back to the details if you need. Also, I will send the contact information of Oleg.
I will read the questions from Lars while you were.
Welcome. So finally we got to you. Thank you very much for joining. I think that you're a great example of a good international cooperation, and because you have, among others, also Norway that you cooperate with. Can you first tell a little bit more about your company, your background, what you produce? Tell us a little bit more about you. We cannot hear you, but probably it's because you are mute and you are not.
And here I am.
Yes.
And hello, everyone. We are making the shoes. So we are the shoes company. And we are making the shoes like already 16 or 17 years. I'm not sure, because this is our family business and my father started like long time ago. I joined him like 6 years ago, and he's producing the shoes, and I'm the selling it. So yeah,
You're the one talking to
this
the
is how we do it.
and trying to get.
I'm sorry, what?
You're the one talking to the companies and trying to get the cooperation with the other.
Yeah, actually, I am. I'm trying to. I'm not sure that I'm good on it, but I'm trying to. So basically, our company, we are trying to make like high quality shoes. So we want to be sure that people that wear it feel very comfortable. So for us, it's very important. So this is the main goal, maybe. So that's why maybe for me it's easier to work. And about our company, we are using just original materials, so it's leather. And we are this cooperation that we have right now. This is very something new for us, because we never made waterproof shoes. So to be honest, and we start for something really new. So for now, we'll a bit changed our thoughts about the materials. So we start to use something more interesting for now. So about the company, like, I don't know, what do you want to know? I will help you.
I met with you last year, and we are coming back to the question what support can be provided to a Norwegian-based company promote textile business in Ukraine. One of our activities that we had before Corona was to arrange business trips for Norwegian companies to Ukraine, to also organize different B2B meetings, to share our network, to have a networking meetings with in Ukraine, so you could actually.
I didn't hear you.
Hello.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your last.
Yes,
the last part, please. Yes.
I was just telling how we met. That
activities.
One of the activities is to organize actually business trips to Ukraine for the Norwegian brands and have B2B meetings, networking events where people can meet, and we create this platform for cooperation exactly between Norway and Ukraine. This year we had to adapt our activities a little bit online, but besides the help with the taxes and some consultations with the lawyers, companies from Norway can get support we can share our network with them, put them in contact, try to find the factory if they would like to produce in Ukraine, help them to find the delivery service back to Norway or to the other European countries, as well to support and assist you on the way. Also we have a business matchmaking portal that you can check. I'm going to send all this information to everyone registered afterwards, so you can click and read and then take contact with me if you have any questions. So last year we organized our first trip for the textile producers, for the Norwegian brands to Ukraine, and Irina was one of the participants from the Ukrainian side. So they were not, as you said, it was something new for you. I remember that.
Actually it was, and it was.
Didn't believe you that it can be something out of that, but you wanted.
No, actually, to be honest, it was like it was very something new, because a friend of mine called me and said, you need to try, and I was like, I'm not sure I will handle it.
Tell me who was this friend of yours?
You're the one.
Yeah.
So he told me you need to try because you're doing a great job. So I called my father and I said like, oh, I'm sorry, this is the family business and it's very important, to know. So I called him and I said, we really need to try it. He was like, I'm not sure about that really. So do you think it's something? I said like, we will try and you will know. So we went to the Kyiv and
you've got
yes, we tried and here we are. So this communication was really very easy, really. So we need the Norwegian company, we start to show them everything that we have, and we was like our hands was a bit shaking, so we was first cooperation, we never do something like that. We will try to do the best we can, but we are not sure that we are good enough. So we start to talk about ourselves. We start to show all the samples that we take with us, and we take a lot, believe me, we take everything that we have. So, We take all these things and we start this communication. Oh, and
you
to be honest,
participated in our B2B meetings, so you came to meet the Norwegian
yeah,
companies to present what to show what you can do, to try out, maybe someone would be interested to use your facilities in Ukraine and produce shoes for Norway, right?
yeah, we was sure that we need to do this. We need to bring everything that we have, so to show them that we can do something at least. So this communication was really very easy. It was very nice to meet our partners for now. Like they are our partners today. Yes, they are our partners, and this communication was really very nice. And first of all, I need to say to everyone, if you're going to this kind of meetings, be sure that you speak English, or be sure that you have someone that can do this. Because I was really scared, so I take the translator. I was not sure that I will handle this, but it's okay. The communication was all right. Yeah.
Yeah, I got good feedback that it was.
No, but to be honest, I feel much more comfortable that the translator lady was there. I'm sorry, I'm not sure if it's right.
Yeah.
So So after the end, we come back to Lviv, and I think few months, like 1 or 2, the Norwegian company called us and sent the first sample that that we made for them. So and we was like, okay, it's look pretty easy, and we can do this for sure. So then we start to find the materials and everything, and find how to make the design, or how to make this in the right way. So it was actually a lot of things to learn. Yeah, you know, the main point that shoes need to be waterproof. So this is the important.
Also something that important if you want to make clothes or shoes for Norway or Scandinavia. Be sure that you can make it waterproof.
Yeah.
Or made of wool, merino wool, and waterproof jacket. It's the fashion of Norway, I think.
Actually, yes, it is, and I understand why. Yeah. So
I remember just for my students here, I remember getting ready for a party, and we had people from Bergen that came to Oslo, and we were just like putting on nice clothes, but people from Bergen were putting on boots, waterproof shoes, and like the pants, because that's how they used to go to a party. So then they take
but they will feel comfy, no?
Yes. So the production of the waterproof was something new for you, and I think it's something that can have also potential for Norway.
Actually, it was like challenge for us. We used to do everything like very good, so we work hard on it. So when we start to work with waterproof shoes, it's looked like real. It was very funny story, because we made the first samples, and we put like a small pool with the water, and our designers who make these shoes actually was sitting on this pool. Yeah, they was working and sitting, and they was testing the shoes if they are really waterproof. So this is
how Ukrainians do. They are very adaptive, and they find a way to.
We need to realize, we don't have this machine. We need to go there to check everything in the right way. But we want to be sure that when we go there, we are already ready. So so we was checking in the way how we can do this. So and we made the shoes, and we sent the samples, and here was first funny story, really. We choose the delivery company.
Funny story. The first funny was
it's a lot of funny stories, because this cooperation it's really like it's very nice for us, and we have a lot of things to share with the world right now. So
I know
we choose the delivery.
You had some challenge with the delivery of the sample.
Yeah, that's actually I'm trying to say. So we choose delivery company, and it was our biggest mistake in the life. So really, on this moment, it was the worst part ever. So we make the samples, we test the samples. We test it on the different weights and on the right weights also. So we check it with machines or right equipment. So 20, no, I'm sure, like 18 or 20 of December, we send the shoes. They need to come to Norway till the 15th of January. So we was sure that no
like
problem, they will get it.
Around 3 weeks for that.
Yeah, so 15th of January, I get the call, and I'm sorry, Irina, but we couldn't take the shoes because they never get here. The biggest problem, like it was 15 or 18 or I don't remember, but we have like few days. So, and 21st was the exhibition. That is very important actually. So they need to present the shoes on this exhibition. So this is, for us, it was like, how come? Really, guys, how? So it was shock for us, but we was trying to find very fast, I don't know, decision. So I called to my father and I asked him, like, please, like straight away, make for me like few pair of shoes, and I will find a way to deliver them. And he said, I'm sorry, but I don't have materials. I used everything for the sample that we already sent.
So it just got lost on the way. You send it to Norway and it
yeah, it's just lost. I don't know. Like when we called to deliver a company, they told us that our shoes in Amsterdam. Like, really?
Yes.
Why? So but they have the shoes have a great trip. I'm sure they was like everything was okay with them. So
we're running a little bit out of time, so we need to speed up a little bit more because we have more questions to discuss. But as an end, you're trying to say that choose the delivery company that you trust the most.
You need to do. If you don't want to go to Copenhagen by yourself, choose right company, guys. Really.
Also great approach from your side that you just jumped on the plane to deliver the samples by yourself to the one who ordered, and then so I think that actually shows that Ukraine. I don't think that the Chinese could do that. Or like any other Asian country.
No, I don't know about Chinese. I was just. This was the decision that I made, and I think I was right because the shoes came on time to right place and to right people. So, and our communication starts from this. I think it's makes some part on it. Actually, about the communication and about the things that how you need to work with them. It's really very important to understand that you can do what like. They ask you or they send you the sample and you need to be sure that you can do it. And don't promise the thing if you couldn't, really. It's very important to be sure that you are okay. I don't know, I'm lost my mind a little bit. I'm sorry, I will check my...
That's okay. While you're structuring your answer, we can come back to you, Oleg. You already had a lot of time to read through the comments. We got one more, but maybe
Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we hear you.
Back to question.
I don't hear you.
You don't hear me? Hello.
Can I will reconnect for the second because I have lost the sound. Just a second, and
okay,
I see the questions. I will be happy to answer them.
Yes.
Just a second.
All right. Reconnect. Then we can come back to you, Irina, again.
Yeah. Okay. I will try to be faster.
You were talking about the communication. Like, make sure that you choose the delivery company that will deliver it on time, that you already tried and you trust, even if it costs maybe a little bit more. Also, they make sure that you can deliver what you promised. There were two things that you...
So actually, to be honest, what is more important also is the customer's broker. So you need to be sure that you find the right one, because really you will be working with him, and it's very important that all your papers should be okay. You need to be sure that really all your papers need to be okay. Also, you need to understand that you need to have the person who can who can speak English in your company, and it's very important because you need to be like very fast and very straight. You it's not like they send us a request and you think 1 week, how can I explain them what I want to?
To react fast to that.
Yeah, you need to react like really fast, and it actually will help you because you can ask like small question, and you for now we were starting with communication on mailing. We was yeah, and now we use WhatsApp sometimes when we have like short questions, and actually it's very nice and it's very easy and it's very comfortable. So what else I want to tell? Oh, I would like to tell you about materials, and it's actually very important for us also. Sometimes they send you the samples, or they send you what they want to, like actually how it's look, and you see and you realize that half of materials is from China, and it's really hard to make them, and it's very hard to make samples. So guys, don't shy to talk with them. Really, it's very amazing when you have this communication and you know how you can switch some materials. They will listen to you. Really, it's this communication is very easy with them. So if you know how to make better, you can tell them. If you know how what materials you can switch on this pair of shoes and still make it nice, it will also work. So don't be shy to talk with them, because it's really will help you and help them to make something great, something nice product. So about what? Just ask me more. Ask me more.
We'll come back. We'll come back.
Yeah, thanks. I'm accidentally chatting with all the chat on the issue that all the questions that I was asked just went off, but I remember the question from Lars, and also
I can send it to you again. Yeah. All right. So you remember the question from Lars? I will send it to you again. But then if you remember it, maybe you can start.
Yeah, you can. There were two questions from Lars, but first was thank you for the questions. First of all, yeah. So you have heard that it's difficult to get the same product out of Ukraine again. Let's say you send fabric to factory in Ukraine. So there is a solution, and you need the half not processed back to Norway or elsewhere. Basically, if this was into the country imported in a processing mode, most likely it is like this. If you use the reprocessing services from the Ukrainian company, most likely it was the not import but processing mode. So if that is the truth, if that has place, you can re-export them. Basically, what you use, it's a clear processing contract and the clear declaration to the customs. Then you have a right to get it out of the country if they are not partly processed, or you can control this quantity going into the country, stored in the warehouse, and then brought back. So it's technically possible. It could be difficult if you have a messy documents on while it was brought into Ukraine to the processing. But as a general rule, the reprocessing is possible. There is a practice on this, so you could do this. If that's import, not the reprocessing, you can only return it, basically not export it back, but return it if there was not a mistake, but your counterparty fails to fulfill their obligation. Basically, they are not doing the work properly, and you claim them for this. You then can return without any additional difficulty. But if that was imported to Ukraine and your party is a diligent, good company, then you need to export it back with all the same that you have imported. So it's easier if it was in the processing mode. Yeah, hope I addressed this question. So yes, it's possible in both cases, but of course, a re-export is possible only if it was in the processing. Second question from also, as I understand from Lars, was that the questions, the products are made in EU, but the warehouse is in Norway. And also there is a trade agreement between EU and Canada. if we send a mix of products, some made in Estonia, some made in Ukraine, could we get into the tax problem with Canada or maybe Japan, which we also sell to? So first, with the Canada, we also have a free trade agreement with Canada. That gives you a good chance to send the Ukrainian products to Canada using all the preference. It's one of the most preferential trade agreements that we have with Canada, maybe because of the number of Ukrainians in Canada. So basically, if you do it properly document-wise, you can get tax benefits, not tax problems. If we talk about Japan, we have, unfortunately, we are not in the free trade relation with Japan, but still, if you diversify all the goods made in Estonia and some goods made in Ukraine, it will still go smooth. The main thing is here to confirm the Ukrainian origin during these processes. So yeah, you could get into tax problems. It can happen if your brokers or you fail in the preparation of documents. But I would say if you do it with Canada, it's a great chance to benefit from the thing that you are doing or manufacturing something in Ukraine. I mean, it's a benefit, not a problem. Yeah, and also there was a question about getting in touch with me regarding a partnership with Ukrainian textile companies. Yeah, I would be happy to help I will be happy to help if I can help. So
that's exactly what I wanted to say, that we need to wrap it up a little bit, but then I would like to everyone registered, and if you need any information from me, I will follow up this webinar. I'll share the information, contact information for everyone involved, and you can take contact directly with Oleg if you would like to have a meeting with him, or you need to know more about this, about the international trade and all the details that go in and out from Ukraine when it comes to textile. We are going to have some meetings next week. I put aside one day on the 13th to meet up with digitally, of course. Unfortunately, I'm missing the offline events, but now we take it digitally. So if you want to talk to me and just find out how we, as a Norwegian Ukrainian Chamber of Commerce, could help with the textile or any other production, please let me know. I'm available on the 13th of October, and we can schedule the meeting. We can help you to find either a producer partner in Ukraine, but I would also like to work with the Ukrainian brands that already established and help them to come to the Norwegian market, because I think that's what improves the image of Ukraine when it comes to quality, and then it improves the image of Ukraine in the eyes of the Norwegian consumer. But also we have a wide producers base in Ukraine that we can put you in contact with. We are planning to have some delegation trips next year, and I think that last year we just took a group of people, went to Ukraine and arranged B2B meetings. But with this Corona opportunities and digital meetings, I think that we should start it digitally and then go to Ukraine. And in this way, you will have more efficient meetings when you're in Ukraine, because you will know already whom you want to meet. We're planning these trips for 2021. So please keep in touch with me for more details, or drop me an email if you would be interested in joining us and getting to know more about these activities. Also, we have business matchmaking portal, BMMP, where you can put out your proposal about your services, if you're selling anything or you're producing anything or you're looking for any type of cooperation. It's very directed very much to Norwegian Ukrainian cooperation, but if you have any questions, let me know. You can also put the proposals on that business matchmaking portal. Yes, and that was it from my side. Sorry, Irina, I'm pretty sure that you had more funny stories about how your cooperation started, but I see that you're happy, and I'm very happy that we put you in contact with the people, and you're now working more on this, and you're coming to the Scandinavian market, so I wish you good luck with that. If there is any questions to me, I can be reached out through the email you got the invitation for this webinar on. And thank you very much. Let's keep in touch. And I wish you a good day. And I think that we'll have more activities within the textile production, because this summer we conducted a research, and textile industry is one of the most potential for increased cooperation between Norway and Ukraine. And this is something we're going to work through direct facilitation, through business trips, and through more events like this where we share information about the benefits. All right, if there are no other questions, I suggest we continue communication via email, and then getting to know you and then answering all your particular questions on your particular cases. Thank you very much, Irina. Thank you very much, Oleg. And
Pleasure.
William, who left us a little bit earlier, was very nice to see him. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.